how you doing? Today is my birthday. I'm 54. I used to not like celebrating my birthday. Like after I turned 25, I'm like, oh my God, I'm 25. I hate celebrating my birthday, and I haven't celebrated it since 25. Actually, I haven't done it since even after 50. But then after 50 though, I said, hey, I made it to 50. I've had a lot of friends and colleagues over the years pass away. A lot of people, mostly younger than me. I mentioned recently about that kid who was 20 who died from cancer. Look, either you're gonna get cancer or you're not gonna get cancer, you know? I know people that have been smoking and drinking their whole lives and they don't die until they're like 98. I hope I'm one of those people, you know? But you just never know what you're gonna get. So you just live life the best you can and be happy that you made it another day, which is how I feel now. So woohoo! Made it to 54. That's pretty good. That's half a century, a little more than half a century. So pretty proud of that, I guess. Anyway, I was just gonna shit around my couch and watch movies all day, but it's such a beautiful day. So I can't waste a beautiful day in my new 54, right? So as you know from my last episode, I put a primer bulb in here, runs pretty good. But I took the whole damn thing apart because I wanted to find out what was wrong with the starter motor. And as I anticipated, it was the brass Bendix pinion gear that was stripped. So that gear is like $65. I'm not gonna go buy a $65 pinion gear for a $150 snowblower if I'm lucky, right? But then I have another Ccr2000 with a Suzuki engine in the shed. I'm gonna whip, I didn't put this back together again because I thought maybe there's a chance that starter gear on the, well, first of all, if that starter doesn't work on the Ccr2000, if it doesn't work, I can try to see if the gear would fit on this. So I didn't put this together yet. I wanted to see first. If it does work, I'm still not gonna put the gear on here because a working starter for that Suzuki engine is worth about $100 on eBay. That's more than what the damn motor, the whole snowblower is worth. So I'll probably sell it on eBay. And then while I'm at it, take apart that one, maybe sell the engine locally or on eBay, because apparently this Suzuki engine is very rare and valuable. So maybe I'll make some money off of that. Definitely more money than it sitting in my shed, right? I'm gonna go whip that one out again. We're gonna take that apart and see if that starter works. If not, just gonna put this back together again and call it a day. So here's my Ccr2000E. It's a 4.5 horsepower, and just looking at the starter, it looks different from that one. I'm not even sure what kind of engine this is. Oh, Suzuki engine, right? So it's not gonna match the Briggs engine at all. So that's why the starter was in a different position than that one. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna fit. But let's hook up the electric start to this and see if the electric start works. So when I first got this, it was missing the chute. The chute's like 40, 50 bucks. I'm not gonna go spend that for this. You know what I mean? It's very old. It's like from the 80s. So it was all apart like this. It's missing a bottom panel. But I did start it at the time when I first got it. I just sprayed some go-go juice in the carburetor. It started and it ran for a good while. Although the revolutions were very high. It revved very high and then it quit. I'm not really 100% sure, but you know what? We're gonna just see if the starter works. You ready? Doesn't work. Nothing. Well, that's disappointing. Maybe it's not grounded or something like that. So I've been looking around. Doesn't seem to work. Let's just try to start this just to see if it runs. Otherwise, why bother? But it did run last time I tried. choking it. Got this on. All I needed to do is turn over. Okay, see? Engine works. So, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be able to get a chute for this anytime soon, since I've been doing this for 5 years, and you never really just find a Ccr2000 chute sitting around without the rest of it, you know what I mean? So, I don't know really what I'm going to do with it, to be honest with you. I mean, I guess I want to take the engine off, but honestly, the whole thing is kind of complete, just missing a chute, you know? And I would like to know if the starter works or not, but to take the starter off, you'd have to take the whole engine apart. I mean, it's that difficult to take the starter out. It is. So here it is on its face. Everything seems to be in order, just that the starter doesn't work. A good gas tank. And as you can see, this is a Suzuki engine, which is supposed to be rarer. It's a shame for me to take this apart, especially since the starter doesn't work, you know, and then I'd like to see if the starter works by taking it out, but I don't really see anything really wrong with it other than it not working. And as you can see, it's on the bottom here after I pull this flap down. And it's secured right between the housing of the auger, and you can't even see the damn bolts. Yeah. I've done this before, and I had to take practically the entire engine off to get the starter off. It was really a pain, very difficult. I think I'm just gonna leave it in there. I mean, it runs. Be a shame to take it apart for what reason, you know, just sell the engine? I don't even know if anybody really wants it, to be honest with you. So, I sat around and I decided that I'm not going to take it apart. Why take apart a perfectly good snowblower minus the starter apparently not working? If I took the starter off and jiggled with it, maybe it would work. But maybe the gear is bad on this, or the motor's bad, you know, but you really don't see the motor going bad all that often. So I think it's just jiggling it or something like that. Something's wrong with it, but I think it might work. But to take apart the engine just to get to the starter is not worth the time and effort for this. So I'm just gonna put this back again. I think you just loosen these two screws. This top panel comes off. You put it into this place, put the top panel back on so that it clips onto this lip, and then get this at least not loose, right? And then I'll keep it in my shed for a while until I run into a chute, or at least a chute that I could fabricate to fix it, you know? And then this would be good to sell. In the meantime, if anybody wants a Suzuki engine for this, you know I have it, let me know. I'll make an eBay thing for it. I'll take the engine out, put it in a box, and ship it to you. But I'm gonna try to get this back together again, and then I'll have to put that one back together again. I put the panel back together again. It was easy, just 3 5/16. This panel comes off, the top panel, and then the metal bracket goes in between there, and the plastic panel holds it onto the lip. It's really actually kind of cool. It's very secure. Then you have to find a couple of 3/8 bolts to put underneath here onto the metal bracket to have it stable. So it's solid. Also, you have to remember that the choke lever had to go into the hole on the choke mechanism. So as you can see, I pulled started. I drained a little bit of the gas from the gas tank from the 2450 Toro, because I'm not going to really use so much of it. So I filled up too much gas. I took half of that gas and put it in here just to test. So I started it, no problem. You know, it took 4 or 5 pulls, whatever. And it runs. But as you can see, it runs better on choke. But even though I take it off a choke, it still runs, but not so well, which means that the carburetor is just a little bit dirty. But like I said, I don't have any real plans for this right now. Who knows if I'll ever get a shoot for this, you know what I mean? So this will probably just end up sitting in my garage for a long time, or my shed, you know? But like I said, it starts and runs. It runs better on choke, or half choke. I think if I just ran it for a bit, it would clear itself out. See that? It's running off the choke. That's kind of dirty. If you run fuel through the carburetor, the jets, it might open it up. So actually this engine sounds pretty good, you know. I'm sure the carburetor could use a little bit of a quick and dirty, and this thing would run great, you know. It's a good little machine. I remember I had a few of these before. At the time, it was 3 or 4 years ago, it did sell for about $150, something like that. Now you couldn't get any real money for these single stage paddle kinds, you know. But yeah, so the starter doesn't appear to work. I'm not going to take apart the engine to see, you know, to try to get it to work on that one. Nah, it's just too much work. So I'll hold on to this until I find a chute, because that's all we're missing is a chute. There are other snowblowers out there that you could probably fabricate a chute to work, you know what I mean? I pick up crap here and there, so maybe that'll happen. For now, I'm going to put this thing back together again, because I took it apart to check out the starter gear. Now that we know it's stripped and it costs 60 something dollars, I'm not going to replace it. I'm not going to take the thing out. I'm just going to leave it in there, and it's not going to be worth anything anyway without the gear, right? I'm just going to put this back together again, and it'll work as a regular snowblower, just with no electric start. So that totally sucked. Just the way this thing is designed, it's just so cramped in there. Not only that, all the nuts are like the lock nuts and in really obscure places. So it was really tough to, I mean, without your power tools, you know, I'm spoiled. I always have my impacts and stuff like that, but you couldn't fit any of that stuff in there. So you had to wrench it and ratchet it, and it just sucked. So when I looked over here, the primer hose was not even connected. So since I'm down here already, before I put this final cover on, which that one doesn't have, I figured this is the Briggs plastic carburetor. Even though it runs fine, sometimes it's kind of hard to start, you know? So I'm gonna take this bowl down just to take a look, maybe do a quick and dirty and spray crap in there. And then I'm gonna remove the carburetor, the spark plug too, and see the condition of that spark plug, because it does take a bit to get it going, you know, without electric start. You gotta pull it a few times for it to get going. So I'm gonna do that before I put the final cover on, and hopefully it'll start a little bit better. Because if your spark plug has like oil buildup, and it's very possible because it's a two-stroke, it's an oil gas mix. So if there's a lot of oil buildup on the spark plug itself, it may have a difficult time getting spark. Of course, the access to it is very difficult. All right, here we go. Yeah, I mean, you know, yeah, it's a little oily, but not terrible. I'm gonna wire bristle brush it. Just clean it up a bit. Or maybe I have another one. Got a brand new one. I'm gonna put that in. Okay, I got a new spark plug in there now. I hope it works. Let's just remove this bowl real quick and check out the condition. You know this is a Briggs because it has a plastic black carburetor, similar to the ones in those 450, 500E, 500, 550EX newer engines on lawnmowers now. I don't mind them too much because it doesn't rust. Oh, yucky. Look at that. That's disgusting. That's rare too. I don't usually see so much gunk in the plastic carburetors, but this one's terrible. This is probably the worst one I've ever seen in a plastic one. And this, just disgusting. Look at this crap on this filter. Look at that. Look at that filter. It's gunked up with crap. No wonder why it didn't really fire up too easily, you know? It all makes sense now. Has a cork float. I don't even think the needle's really like moving. This is no good. How did this even run? Oh shoot. Something dropped. Oh, the pin dropped. There's no way I'm gonna find that pin. I'm screwed. I am screwed. Here, the needle wasn't even moving. And it's really gummed up too. Wow, I'm amazed that this thing even ran. I'm gonna have to clean all this stuff up and try to find that pin. I'm screwed if I don't find that pin because I definitely don't have it. All right, disaster averted. You guys see it? Do you see the pin? I'll zoom in on it for you. It's sitting right there. Awesome. I was making that noise. It doesn't make that noise. Should I take that out or just spray it? You know, I don't want to ruin anything. I'm just going to spray it all. Clean the filter. Put the bowl back on. I guess the needle just sits in there, and then from gravity, it goes down. It doesn't pull it down. I mean, it didn't come with any other mechanism, you know. I'm just gonna trust what it is. I've just never seen that before. Out of all the years I've been doing this, a needle that didn't have like a little wire or something holding it, adhering it to the float. That's just weird to me. Whatever, I didn't see one, and it doesn't look like it would, you know, even have a thing there to do that. So I blew it out, It's clean now. And this thing ran like that. I mean, albeit it was difficult to start, but it did run pretty well too, actually. So I'm really surprised at the condition of this carburetor. It was trash. So now we got a clean bowl, blew out the holes. Thank goodness I found that pin for the float, otherwise I would have been screwed. Reconnected that primer hose to the carburetor before it wasn't even connected. I don't know, maybe when I was taking things apart it fell off or something, but either way, we did change the new spark plug, so that's good. Reattach the fuel line now. And so, you know, what did we accomplish on this project? Well, we found out the starter gear was messed up. That was basically the entire reason why I took the damn thing apart. Because curiosity killed the cat. I just had to know. Did change the primer bulb, which was the easiest part of the whole thing. But let's try to start this up now. I mean, it's a clean carburetor now with a new spark plug. It should be better. And then if all is well, we'll put the cover back on and this will be it. All right, here we go. I mean, I'm pretty sure I flooded it. I was blowing all kinds of crap in there, you know. We're not gonna have to prime it. Now it starts up real easily, huh? Hey, all right. Starts up way easier now. New spark plug, and it's never the spark plug, but this time, I guess it helped, you know? Cleaning out that carburetor, amazing. I'm so stunned by the fact that that carburetor looked like crap, and it was running. It was just hard to start. Now it seems to start really well. I gotta kind of fix this before I button it up. So this is easy. I was just checking it out, and it's just these bolts are loose. That's it. That's kind of rusty. And you gotta hold it on the other end with a screwdriver, Phillips. So I'm gonna do these with the 3 bolts here, tighten it up so it won't wobble anymore, and we can put that final panel back on, and then this will be good to sell. Given that the electric start doesn't work, but honestly, when people buy these things, they don't even know it's there. So I'll still list it for $175 because it is before the winter time, and if I can get $150 out of it, even $100, I'll let it go. So there we go. 2-day project, 2 different episodes. Got 2 single-stage Toro snowblowers, both with electric start, but both don't work. This one I decided, since it only needs a chute, I'm just gonna keep it around. It runs fine, just needs a carb clean and a chute. If I ever run into one, I'll have another snowblower. For now, I'll just keep it in the shed. This one, we got it going with a new primer bulb. Figured out that the pinion Bendix gear was stripped from the starter, so it doesn't have any electric start. Cleaned the carburetor, buttoned up everything else, changed the spark plug, and now it really starts up very well. I really like it, actually. I use it as a leaf blower. Take some pictures of this as is on my lawn. Let's see if anybody buys it before winter comes. I'll ask 175, take as low as 100. Thanks a lot for joining me on today's episode. We'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.